Good evening, folks, and welcome to Beer Rating with Sean Connors. Another day, another beer. Basically, day 10 of the Advent calendar. I've gone through before, but I'll just say it again. Basically, I have no idea what beer I'm getting. However, I do know what beers are in the box, as it's listed on the side. So with that being said, I just take a chance and see what I get. I'm getting a lot of Hells, a lot of Hefeweiser's wheat beers, so who knows what we'll get today. So we'll jump right into it, day 10, which is down here. And so I'll let you see the beer before me. Just lay it there. Put this so I can read the side of the box. And we'll zoom in. That way you can read the beer. And basically I read the can, see what information I'll get. There might be a little bit more on the box, possibly. There's an app I've been using, beertasting.app, and basically what that is, I take a picture of the beer, and it gives me a little bit of information on the beer. As well, I have beer cue cards from the Cicerone Institute, and basically they list different styles of beer, and there's a cue card for each style, so I'll check that to see if there's any information. And if I can't get any information there, then we'll try the Beer Bible, or maybe we'll Google it. We'll go from there. Alright, so this tells me nothing. 5.3% alcohol. And that's about it. Water, barley malt, whiskey malt, and hops. Actually, the first time I've seen a beer with whiskey malt. It's going to be interesting. So I'll see if I can find it on the can. Oh yes, this is one actually I've been waiting for. This is Hosl Rauchmarzen, and it's a Rauchbier, Rauchbier. If I remember correctly, this is a smoked ale or a lager. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's smoked. This is the one, if anybody's following me, there was another beer, I think it was day 3 or 4. I actually read the ingredients, and I think it was smoked malt or something along that lines, and I jumped the gun, assuming it was the smoked beer. Now before I open it, I'm going to check the cue cards, check the app, just to see what information I can get, see if it is the same beer that I'm thinking. Check the cue cards, and they do have it listed here. Rauchbier, Rauchbier. Let's see what information this is going to give me. Okay, they say the color is from amber to brown, so it's a darker style of beer. The bitterness is 2 out of 5. They give the IBUs, which I think is International Bitter Units. 20 to 30 they say, but they also give it out of 5, so it's a 2.5. The normal alcohol content's 4.8 to 6. We're at 5.3. Alright, the flavor and balance. A strong, smoky flavors of bacon, brisket, and campfire. Additional malt flavors tend to be roasty and biscuit light. A specialty of Bamberg, Rauchbier features intense smoky flavors from beechwood smoked malt. And the related style, they say, is a Marzen. So this is going to be interesting. I'm not even sure if I'm going to like it. I mean, who doesn't like anything with bacon, but bacon, brisket, and campfire flavors in your beer? This is definitely going to be interesting. As well, the whiskey malt, I'm curious how that's going to come out in the flavor, if at all. For me, I'm a beer drinker. I'm not a hard liquor drinker whatsoever, so I'm not a big fan of whiskey, rums, that type of thing. With that being said, I had a beer there a couple years ago. I think it was a Scotch ale. Basically, it was aled in Scotch barrels, and definitely wasn't my thing. Okay, I'm going to check the app. Once again, it's beertasting.app. You take a picture of the beer, and it gives you a little bit of information on it. It also gives you reviews from other people who've tried the beer. Normally, I don't check out the reviews till later on in the evening once I've had the beer. And this one too, the Rauchmarzen. I'm not quite sure how it's related to a Marzen. So it's bottom fermented, which basically means it's a lager. They give the alcohol content, they give the beer type, which we already know. And they say Michael Hosl, H-O-S-L, the founder of Hosl Brewery, started producing beer in February of 1906, so well over 100 years. The brewery brewed beers of well, that's a tongue twister. The brewery brewed beers of finest quality ever since. Michael's wife, Margaret, watches over the brewing process besides raising their kids. She says watches. I'm pretty sure she's not still alive. Could be a translation thing, I'm not sure, but anyways. A devastating fire in 1957 destroyed almost all of the brewery. However, this did not ruin the spirit of the family, and the rebuild was in progress soon. The special mix of whiskey and wheat malt brings out a unique peaty and smoky aroma, an excellent beer that is a pleasure for the taste buds. Alright, so I'm going to give my glass a quick cold water rinse as per usual. This is as opposed to keeping your beer or your glasses in the freezer, which they don't recommend whatsoever. Basically, because of that, they say you can get your glass that cold that it actually numbs your taste buds, so you won't get the full flavor of the beer. Also, any other flavors in the fridge could be transferred to the frost on the beer. Think about ice cubes that you might have had that really taste off. So it's not overly dark. Pretty well fits into the profile. Kind of reminds me of the German Marzen that we had, not the Munich Marzen. This is, like I said, this is the one beer that I've been really looking forward to. Not because I think I'll like it, just because it's so different. I've had a smoked sour that was different as well. Not in the Advent calendar, but just on my own, one of the early reviews. I think that was John Jacob Linkenheiner Schmidt. That was named the beer, believe it or not. I believe it was Port Rexton Brewery, so by all means, you can check the previous videos. I'm not getting a lot of aroma there. I thought with the description I was reading, they talked about the smoky bacon brisket. I was expecting a lot more. I think they might have even used the word intense. Perhaps they were talking about the flavor, not the aroma. Try that again. No, I'm not getting a lot of aroma, other than your average beer aroma. Right off the bat, I have no idea why, but the first taste reminded me of an Irish ale. And quite honestly, I'm not even sure what. I've been to Ireland several times, and there's a beer I've had there, and that's what the initial taste reminds me of. I don't know if it was an Irish red ale. It's quite possible. I'm not quite sure. It's tasty. With that being said, it's not as intense as I thought it was going to be. That's neither good nor bad. As I said, I was kind of looking forward to this. The whole smoke thing kind of intrigued me, to say the least. However, I'm not getting a lot of smoke flavor. Actually, I want to double check, make sure it is. Yeah, it is the smoke beer that I thought that I was kind of looking forward to. The head dissipated rather quickly. Really, there's not a lot of flavor to it. I'm really surprised. I was expecting more intense flavor. I'm getting a hint of something. I'm wondering if it's perhaps a whiskey malt. And like I said, with me not being a liquor drinker, I think any flavor of any liquor whatsoever would stand out to me. I think it does. For me, it brings me back to Irish Red. I could be totally out to lunch saying that, and by all means, if you've had it and you think so, let me know. I really don't know what to make of it. When I take a taste of it, kind of gives me a little bit of a zing. Doesn't last very long. Not a lot of aftertaste, but there is a bit of aftertaste here. But I really, really thought it was going to be more intense. I mean, they talked about smoky campfire, bacon, brisket, and I'm not getting any of that whatsoever. It's an okay beer. I can't really say much more than that. To give it a rating, my ratings are out of 5. Basically, a 1's a drain pour. A 2 is, not a fan, but I'll finish it just because I don't want to waste the beer. A 3 is a good beer, a 4 is a very good beer, and a 5 is the best beer I've ever had. With that being said, what am I going to give this beer? I'm leaning towards either a 2.5 or a 3. I'm definitely going to finish it, so it's definitely not a 2. It's not a bad beer. I think a 3 is where I'm leaning. Basically means it's a good beer. It's an okay beer. Nothing spectacular. Yeah, I think a 3, because without hesitation I'll finish it. There's no question there. I'm enjoying it, but I am a little bit disappointed from what I know about the style of beer. I was expecting more. Like I said, just what I know is just basically what I read. Nothing that I've tried before, but I was expecting more. So I think I'm going to stick with my 3 for the Hosl Rauchbier. They actually have it as a Marzen beer here on the can, but the style of beer everywhere else is Rauchbier. So I think I'm going to stick with my 3. It's an okay beer, you know. Wouldn't write home about it, wouldn't go out and wait for one, but I mean, you know, I'll finish it, I'll enjoy it. And if somebody gave me one again, I wouldn't hesitate to try it. And I'd like to have another one of a different brewery just to see if I can get the smokiness that the beer is supposed to be known for. So there you go, folks. That's my rating, 3.0. Hopefully you can join me tomorrow for day 11, and we'll see what it brings. Until next beer, as always, enjoy responsibly. Cheers.